Hello and welcome to AIL TV. This evening I have got a very interesting guest. As you can see at the back of me here, you can see some really fantastic paintings. Some of it have watercolor, paint, I think charcoal and everything. Now I want to say one thing. You know, this is like a snapshot of Black History Month as how we do it here on AIL TV. Many people do not realize that Africa has contributed a lot in everything. So now we are talking about art. Why do I say that Africa has contributed in many ways and in everything? We are going to talk to an artist from Cameroon, but based in Wales, Bangor. Now, when people see his paintings, they always tell him that he paints like Picasso. But what they don't know, that Picasso painted like him. You see, African artists influence a lot of European painters. Pablo Picasso, Matisse, Amadeo Modigliani, and many more. So what are we talking about here? Today, or this evening, I have got a guest by the name of Mfikela Jean Samuel. Let me hope that I'm pronouncing the name properly. But let me bring him on the screen before he starts. He tells you, he's going to talk about a lot about art and how Africa has influenced Western European painters. So, Jean Samuel.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, I'm here.
Good. Welcome to the program. And I am very happy
Thank you very
to
much.
have you today to talk about art. We met a couple of months, no, in fact, it was last year when we met. So maybe what you need to do, bring the phone, tilt your phone a little bit so that we can see your face a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. Now, you know, as in my introduction, as I have said, when people look at your art, they think you are painting like Picasso, but you always correct them. Can you please correct them quickly?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's wonderful to get back to you. When we made a few, like 1 year ago in the African Advancement Forum, I knew that something substantial will come out of this, our meeting. And today, we have the opportunity to tell the world our story. And in my own way, I am an African contemporary painter, and I live in Bangor, as you said, in North Wales. So my primary inspiration for painting is African culture, the African ways of life, and the African tradition. Art is the African mask. I say this everywhere because the African mask, some people think is an instrument or an object for entertainment or decoration, but that is something which embodies the spirit of the African ancestors. Wherever I go in the world, I go along with the African mask or I paint one. Indeed, some people even consider me to be the African mask itself. It has always been a common observation when people in the Western world, when they look at my paintings, they are always like, you're painting like Picasso or you're painting like Matisse. That is, they relate my painting to something that they know. But I always like to correct them to tell them that no, Picasso paints rather like me. Because what made Picasso very famous is the fact that some people think he invented modern painting, beginning from the era of Cubism around the early 1900s. But actually, what happened was that Picasso had a friend called Matisse, and when Matisse had a certain mask from a place called Côte d'Ivoire, from the then tribe of Côte d'Ivoire. When Picasso saw this mask, Picasso became a bit infatuated about it, and he decided to visit a certain museum in Paris to see, because this museum in Paris had a collection of many artifacts that were from, with the help of colonial France, that were brought from Africa, and they were kept in this gallery or museum. They call it the Endographic Museum in France. And this was actually in 1907. So that gave Picasso the desire to start the sort of painting which, together with a guy called John Braque, They were George Braque. They started painting a kind of painting called Cubism, which was like the mother of modern painting. And Picasso is most known in the world today for his cubistic work than for any other work. But this cubism was actually inspired by the African mask, which is what I show the world. And I think my ancestors will be proud of me telling the world about the African mask than for someone else to be telling me that I'm painting like someone who copied from my ancestors. So I think I carry the ingenuity of the ancestors that originally brought this mask into light, and that Picasso was able to see, and then he showed it in the world in a different way. But I have never really seen Picasso recognize or acknowledge the fact that most of these his paintings were somehow copied from the African mask.
You know, okay,
Yeah.
so you have just you have just given us just a little bit of a snapshot of what people think about African art. So let us go back to you now. How did you start painting, or when and how did you come to painting?
Wow, thank you very much. That's a very interesting question, and I always expect that question wherever I go to do an exhibition. The thing is that I started painting like a child learns how to speak, how to walk, or how to talk. So I cannot remember. The reason being that I come from an environment or from a family or from a culture where art is like a way of life. Some people are carvers, some are painters, some draw. That is, children are naturally very creative. Yes, I've taken this skill to a higher level, but everything is thanks to my culture. So I realized that I was a painter when I was already painting. When I was a bit younger, I thought that every other child in the world was exactly the same. That people could just paint, carve, and draw like the people in my culture were doing. Because I'm lucky that I come from a culture of a very rich heritage called the culture of the Bangor people of the North Wales region of Cameroon. And this culture has explored the different avenues and aspects of the African mask more than most cultures that I've seen in the world. So this has really been my inspiration from the beginning up till now. And this keeps on growing in me. So basically, I was born to paint. Oh, I can't get you very
Right.
well. There's something wrong with
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
volume.
I'm back. I'm
Okay.
back. Yeah, yeah. Let me repeat
Okay.
the question again. Uh, Many artists or painters, they go to college to learn, or they get higher degrees, and some of them they have got even a PhD in art and stuff, but not drawing, but the understanding of art itself. Now, after, because you have just said that you started painting when you were very, very young, or very little. Did you go after that? Did you go to college to learn how to paint?
No, I have never had any formal education in painting. Yes, at some point, I met a guy who was very experienced. He's called Angu Waters. I call him my master because he was the one who enlightened me much in the field of abstraction. Because as an artist, when you are young or when you are beginning, you try to paint like a photographer. You try to represent nature with exactness. You try to make sure that everything that you paint is like what has been seen in nature. But at some point, when you are courageous enough, you have the audacity to know that an artist can also be a creator, so that you can paint things as you want them to be or as they ought to be, not as they are. So this guy called Angu Waters, who also learned his art from one of the most famous African painters called P, he was able to teach me how to open my mind and how to believe in myself more as an artist, and how to explore abstraction and the limits of creativity, so that I can courageously paint and show the world something that was not there before. But I don't have any professional diploma, professional certificate in painting. I'm just a natural painter. And I don't miss these certificates because I don't want to learn to paint like someone else. Time had passed when I used to struggle to paint like Michelangelo, to paint like all these great painters. I want to paint like me because my art is a way to tell my African story in visual form. And nobody can tell the authentic story of yours than you yourself. So I think the world has the opportunity to get a unique story from a unique person who has the audacity to present it to the world like that.
Okay, so, right. Now, you see, I am bringing these paintings that on the screen. As let me hope that you can actually see them accurately on your screen there.
Yes,
So,
I do.
can you just describe just a little bit of what we are looking at here on the screen here?
All right. I can see three of my paintings. And the
Correct?
painting at the left is an abstract figurative painting of a mother and a child. This painting shows the natural bond between mother and child, which remains inseparable. In my culture, where I come from, people have a lot of reverence for their mothers and a lot of respect for their mothers. And you are always a child to your mother, no matter how old you become. So our mothers are considered to be our gods. And always there is this link between mother and child. So this painting shows the cosmic bond between mother and child that stays through the lifetime as we live. Then going to the right, the painting on the top right, well, is as I told you that my paintings are influenced by my culture. That is a man and a woman going for for a traditional celebration. It could be that they are going for a traditional wedding, traditional meeting ceremony, and what have you. But that is how they normally dress. That's how they dress in my culture. When they have to visit some important places or some important people or go for some important occasions. Then the painting that you see on the right, on bottom right, that painting is called My Heritage. And that is one of my most loved paintings. That painting, I can say, is a natural encyclopedia, an encyclopedia of my culture. It has almost everything that makes my culture or my people, the people that they are. There will be no time for me to explain these paintings because it begins from traditional rituals, the African mask, African musical instruments, and what have you. So this is one of my most cherished paintings. One art collector wanted to collect this painting from me a few months ago. I'd already accepted to give away the painting. But when I slept in the night, I thought about it again, and it was like I'll be separated from my soul. So I'm guiding this painting very jealously, like how Leonardo da Vinci was guiding the Mona Lisa. And I'm hoping that someday in the future, this painting would have the grandeur it deserves. Because every work of art should be a masterpiece. All right, this is what I can say for these three paintings for now.
So now going back to you, as you said, this actually shows your natural talent of how should we um, say you are from northern Cameroon. Is that right?
I'm from the northwest region of Cameroon, northwest region of Cameroon,
Okay, right.
northwest.
So yeah, well, my question is really, um, I am sure there are a lot of artists and painters who haven't even been discovered by the West, but they are there. Just using the word "they haven't been discovered" is the wrong way. So, what do you think that we could do, we as Africans, to promote our own art and culture?
Wow, that is a very, very good question. You know that when I started painting as a child, a lot of people, even though they could admire the art, but at some point, people always think that someone cannot take art as a way of life or something that you earn your living from. They expect an artist to be somebody that should have something else to be doing, to be working for someone else so that you can support yourself. Maybe you can put food in your table and all of these things. Also, Africans have not been very proud of their culture and of who they are. They always sit behind and they expect that someone comes from somewhere and tells them that what they have is good before they start considering that thing to be very good. So I want to use this opportunity to tell Africans to promote their own culture and to promote their own art. First of all, by loving and respecting it. Because if you do not respect what belongs to you or what is yours, no one else will respect this. You are the one, when you deliver, for example, a child, if you do not treat that child with respect, anyone coming to your house will treat that child with disrespect and even more than. So there are many talents in Africa. There are many young people with a lot of creativity, not only painting, not only drawing, not only craft. There are many musicians that if the African community respects them and promotes them, they shall be like anyone else in the world. But we often do not pay a lot of attention to these talents. Sorry to say, I don't know whether to call it brainwashed or what. We have been made to think that what comes from us is not of world standard, which is not true. Which is not true. I fortunately am not like that. All my work, whatever thing I put my signature in, is authentic, and I command the highest price possible because I am as good as Michelangelo. I'm as good as Picasso. I'm as good as any other painter that ever lived, that is living, and that will live. So I don't have any doubt or confusion if my paintings will be showcased sooner or later in the biggest museums or gallery in the world. That will happen, and that will happen in this century, in this decade. It would happen. I urge the Africans to join this race that when they want to provide something to the world, let them not just think of a small market. Let them not just think of a small environment or a small scale. Let them do things in a world-class level and know that the energy, the respect that they give to what they have done is the one that the foreigner will take. So if you are afraid and less confident of your product in the market or of your art in the market, that's your business. Nobody will respect it. So I can just advise our fellow Africans to promote their talents back home and have respect for them and make their artists to be proud of what they have, especially when these artists are promoting our culture visually with our art.
Okay, so again, I'm going to really ask you again to talk about these paintings here, what we are seeing. Just explain the meaning of you've got very fantastic paintings, especially you see the one at the top right. The ladies, they're on
Okay.
the bikes and they are carrying stuff, but everything that you really do is really fantastic. But just talk about
Thank you.
these.
Thank you very much,
Yeah, talk
Mr.
about
Joseph.
these paintings, and then we will go into. We want to explore how you sell your paintings.
Well, let me begin from the painting that you talked about, like those two women carrying a lot of stuff in bike. I mean, I saw these women in somewhere in the place of Cameroon. When I was passing in a car, I saw women carrying a lot of things behind them and riding the bikes as if they were doing nothing physically very hard. So even though it was about 5 years ago that I saw this, the memory is still very fresh in my mind. And I thought that, wow, why not bring it out visually and tell the world? I mean, it's a way to show the strength of the African woman, their determination and their resilience. To tell the world that even though most of them don't have the ideal situations, they don't give up. They go an extra mile to give to their family a befitting table or dinner table. So it's a way to respect the power of the African. The other painting that you see at the left, it is entitled Chaos. It's my latest painting. I just did this painting a few days ago, and it's abstract, purely abstract. If you look at it, you see that things are not really going so well. The colors are not well organized. This painting, I was inspired because of the recent occurrence in Nigeria, when the young people went out to demonstrate against police brutality. There are rumors that many of them have been killed and so on, simply because they want to contribute their voices to a country that is supposed to be democratic. So I decided to paint chaos to remind me and other people of what has happened and to show my sympathy. for people that have lost their lives because they felt they were part of the country. All right. Then the other painting under the two women, well, it's simply an abstract figurative paintings of animals. You know, a lot of people, when they think about Africa in the West, they think of safari trips. They think of the lion, they think of the elephant, and so on and so forth. Well, but this is not, this thinking is not wrong. We have these animals, all of them in our backyards. We are conserving them, and they are part of us. So I thought that I should also paint them to show to the world and explain to them that most of the animals you see here in the zoos, back home, we have them in our natural environment, and that is where they thrive. Thanks.
Now, I see the question is that, I asked the question I asked earlier whether you went to college. Said no, you didn't. You don't have any formal education about art. This is from your imagination. Right. Now, what do you use when you are painting? Because I can see a whole lot I can see watercolor, I can see, do you use charcoal as well, or you use anything?
My primary medium is acrylic on canvas. But normally, in some of the paintings, I sketch with the pencil or with charcoal, just to have the what we call a blueprint. You know, it's like building a house. There is often an architect who does the blueprint of where you want to go to. So that one is done with the pencil, and then acrylic comes after. But in some rare occasions, I use artist oil colors. I would have loved to use them more, but sometimes they're irritant to me. I mean, my system does not really accept them. So I primarily dwell on acrylic on canvas. Yeah, but basically I use the pencil to do my sketching before I go to the paint. I go to painting. I use watercolor on far rare occasions, not often, but sometimes once in a while, like once in a year or twice in a year, I can use watercolors.
Okay,
But I would say
so
I use acrylic almost every day.
so like now this painting that we are seeing on the left hand side,
Yeah.
is that watercolor or is that acrylic?
No, that is acrylic on canvas.
Ah,
Still,
okay,
still celebrating the power of
okay,
the African woman. Yeah.
okay. Now, okay, now let us go to the question. You know, this question, which in my introduction, when I said that people, when they see your paintings, they they think that you are painting like Picasso. So do you, either you have really to be very 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 patient with that, with people irritating. Does it irritate you? Okay, we are having a little bit of a problem there, but we will come back to that. Okay.
Hello.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. The question is this: when people ask you, or when people tell you that you are painting like Picasso, do you feel irritated, or you just calm down and say, well, look, let me educate you guys? What is the feeling? What
Initially,
is the feeling inside you when people actually start asking you questions like that?
well, initially I didn't like the question because I knew that it was not a right question. But later on, I realized that those who ask are innocent, they are ignorant, and I don't have to hate them for their ignorance. I then take the opportunity to educate them, to make them to know that no, I don't paint like Picasso. Picasso rather paints like me. And this is so because what you know Picasso to be is what he copied from Africa or from my ancestors. And my ancestors would be proud to see me doing what they were doing, because it shows that it passes into my own veins from them. So I'm happy that Picasso copied and prevailed in it, but I will be happier if we recognize where it came from and who represents it as I do, coming from that very culture or that bloodline. I have no problem with Picasso or with people that think like that, but I think I should educate them to know that I don't paint like Picasso, but Picasso paints rather like me. I'm not angry with them. I take the opportunity to advise them. I can't hear you well.
I'm back again because I keep muting myself for some reasons. Um,
Okay.
you know, your plan now, what is your plan, um, let's say for the next 5 years? What is your plan? How do you, where do you see your painting going or your paintings?
Well, um, art is my way of life. I'm playing my own part. And in this journey, you are not alone. You go together with the world, with your contemporaries, or with the generations to come. I'm going to paint happily and show my paintings to the world. But it is left to the world to see whether the breakthrough happens in this age or in the next age. So I see myself being celebrated sometimes, no doubt, because I'm painting purely unique paintings, and like any other artist, I am very confident that the paintings would go far and go well. But sometimes some of the work out of the studio is not my own. I'm just basically doing good work, and I know where good work can take someone to. So in the next 5 years, yes, I can see myself in a big museum in New York, in a big gallery in New York, in a big place in London. I can see art collectors coming and getting paintings from me and even asking me to paint more. I mean, I can see myself also commanding the art world in one way or the other. So that those are the big dreams that I have. But they will all happen because I am very consistent, resilient in what I'm doing as an artist. And when it happens like that, nature conspires with you, and the world has no option than to give you a way to pass and go to where you want to go to. One guy once said that no matter whatever you do, when you do it well, even if you live at the far corners of the world, people shall beat a beating path to come and reach you there. The greatest attracting force is the handwork, is not the signboard. Signboard. So I am looking forward to better days ahead.
So, okay. This is another question again. Let me bring this up. Um,
I think you have muted your phone again. Have you muted your?
this is very interesting as what you're saying because one time I was actually in the Middle East in Bahrain. I was sitting. I was in the office of the of the founder of Ahaliya University, the guy who actually founded Ahaliya University, one of the very first private university in Bahrain. You know what he said? He said that if you cannot think big, believe me, you will never get wherever you want to get to. If you think medium, that's where you will stay. Now, you have got so many supporters here. People, they are actually sending in their messages. Those who are watching, by the way, guys, thank you very much for watching. And if you have got a question for Jean Samuel, please send them. He's here. We have got another 12 minutes to go, so we want to hear questions from you guys. Now, the question I want to put to you: with all these beautiful paintings, how do you sell them for now?
Um, Now, for now, um, I sell them primarily or basically through gallery. My primary gallery is the Bangor Art Initiative Gallery in North Wales. That is where I primarily like where I reside every time to show my paintings to the world. But sometimes I travel around Europe in small occasions still to sell them. But there are some paintings online. But I don't often feel very comfortable to put all my works online. But when particular people request their paintings from me, that I can send them, I can send the paintings to them for them to see, and then maybe select what they want or what they like. Some of the paintings are on Facebook, and my Facebook page is the Art of Jean Samuel. The Art of Jean Samuel. There you can see my page, and then some paintings are there. But if someone wants to, if someone is serious enough and you want to
So, ladies and gentlemen,
They
as
thought
we
that stuff.
know, yeah, we are having a little bit of challenges with the internet connectivity, but I believe now Jean is back with us.
Hello? Hello?
Here you continue.
Did you mute your call?
Yeah, that's it. Continue. Tell people how you sell your stuff.
Yeah, I sell my stuff by exhibiting the painting the Bangor Art Initiative in North Wales. But for people who are not around North Wales, they can go to my Facebook page, The Art of Jean Samuel. Otherwise, someone can send me an email in jeansamuel2003@gmail.com. Like JEAN, Samuel is ASAMUEL 2003@gmail.com. Then I will be able to send to you the stock of paintings that I have, which I don't want to put online for obvious reasons. Yeah.
Okay, right. Now, you have just, this painting, let me bring it up. The painting that you painted while a few days ago, I think the one with which you call chaos.
Yes.
Have you, okay, like now we are in this time of COVID-19 or coronavirus. Have you painted something like depicting the lives of Africans the lives of Africans in Africa during coronavirus? Have any idea, or you are thinking about it?
Not the lives of Africans in particular, but I've done a painting that shows the story of the coronavirus as a universal story, which indeed Africans they share in it. But yeah, I did not have to. I have not. I didn't give the pen. I didn't present the painting in this show for some reason. Maybe I should have. But there is a painting which I have done. The title is "The Pandemic," and basically
Okay.
it is telling the world, I mean, about the coronavirus and the hope that lie behind the shadows. Are you there, Mr. Joseph?
I'm here. We have covered
Okay.
we have covered a lot of things. We have talked about a whole lot of things, including basically your philosophy and how you paint. Is there anything else you like to address to people who, say for example, the young artists who are coming up, young artists and those who are already in the field, to what kind of advice you would give them?
Um, Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want to seize this opportunity to say that some people may consider me to be self-made, but that's not true. I'm not self-made. I'm here because I had friends who helped me keep the fire of painting throughout my youthful life. And most of these friends are in Cameroon, and they are struggling with painting. Some are getting better, some have been discouraged, but I can just tell them, as I tell any other artist in the world, that the journey as a painter is not often very easy. No, it's not an easy journey, because I was able to paint for more than 1.5 decades, for 15 years, before I sold a first painting reasonably. But what kept me going was the passion. What kept me going was my resilience and my determination. I refused to give up in spite of all the odds and all the difficulties in the terrain or I refused to give up in spite of all the challenges. So I'm advising my fellow African youths and the talented African young people that they should not give up when they want to achieve something through the use of their talents, because even though if it doesn't happen, if they don't succeed early, it doesn't mean that they will never succeed. At some point, someone will come from somewhere and show you the way. Um, I would also like to thank the managers of the gallery here in Bangor, called the Bangor Art Initiative Gallery, for their marvelous support to me. Because in 2014, when I came to Bangor to study in the university, I became a member of this gallery. And from that time up till now, they have always given me the opportunity to exhibit in their gallery whenever I want to. So
Okay, hello viewers. I
If
know we are having, as I said, we
you
are having
are
a little bit of a
exposure,
challenge.
I'm using this opportunity to tell my fellow African brothers that, hello, did you mute the call?
We are having a little bit of internet connectivity, but I believe now Jean's connection is actually back on. Now, let me.
Hello?
You were saying your resilience, and you decided you don't want to give up.
Yeah. I decided that I don't want to give up and that I will not give up. And at some point, I had openings. Friends came to support, and they are still supporting. Galleries were there giving me opportunity to exhibit in them, and that's still happening. So it can that's not only it can not only happen to me. It can happen to any talented young African who refuses to give up. Yeah, the fact that someone is not succeeding now doesn't mean they are not going to succeed tomorrow. You just need to keep the fire burning, and there'll be a magic moment for you.
So, this is a question. This question is from Eric. Um, Probably he knows you because he's asking, why did you stop teaching art? Were you a teacher before? Were you teaching art? Yeah.
No, tell Eric that I have not. I think Eric surely knows me. Yes, I used to teach art to young people. I used to bring them together and show them simple techniques of painting. But I still do that. I still do that now. Eric, I have not stopped. Maybe just that I don't do it in a place that you know, but I still do that. Yeah. I mean, it's
Okay.
a
So
wonderful thing to share your talent with young people. Yeah. Especially when
so
you feel that they can make their own life from that as well.
okay. So that was the question from Eric.
Thank you. Wow. Did you mute your call?
Yeah. No. Hang on. We have got 2 minutes to finish the program. And since we are having lots of challenges in the internet connectivities and stuff, but again, we have actually discussed a whole lot of things, and I like your philosophy, and probably even the people watching, they are saying that your talent is just something else because as what you have said, this is like an educational program. We need actually to keep reminding our people or Africans in general to believe in what they do, to believe in what is African, instead of just looking somewhere else. Because this story here, as I said in the introduction, that you guys or African artists influenced a whole lot of European painters, and this trend actually is recurring not only in art, it is also in music. The music from Africa, it is always regenerated, and they sell it back to us as if it is not ours. So you see, it's a yes. It is a very good. I am very happy. I'm very happy to have met you before, but for now, we're
Thank you,
going to
Joseph.
actually stop. We are going to stop here, and let me just have a quick thank you to. Yes, guys, thank you for watching. I am very, very, very happy for those of you who have actually logged in to watch Jean Samuel. The guy is on a different level altogether, as he says. So what do we do? I know you are. There are so many artists and painters out there. Come out, man. Let us showcase this our beauty. Let us showcase our talent. I know there is one musician here who is a very, how can I say, he's a funky musician, but he's also a painter. He can also draw. He's watching with us. So thank you, Papa J, for watching, and everybody who has tuned in to watch.